They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome as we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last time we had the opportunity to spend a little time with you, roughly some 24 hours ago. This weekend, monumental weekend, as we celebrate our independence in this country. And with the easing of coronavirus rules all across the country, at least in the majority of places, it is expected that some 43.5 plus million people will hit the highways going various places to celebrate our nation's independence. Little heads up for you guys and girls that will be hitting the road. You can expect to pay the most to fill up your car since the year 2014. Gas prices at a 7-year high as we head into the heart of summer. Right now, according to AAA, the national average is $3.09 per gallon. Depending upon whom it is that you ask, some put the national average as high as $3.11 a gallon. As of Monday, some 89% of gas stations, rounded off to 90%, were charging $2.75 a gallon for regular unleaded gasoline, a stark increase of over 50% from last July 4th. Now, a bit of a heads up. Some gasoline stations have run out of gas. I wish I could, give you a graphic or a detailed breakdown of who they are, but it's not because of a lack of gasoline. Let me be sure to tell you that up front. The problem is with these stations getting fuel is a lack of truck drivers to deliver the fuel. You're familiar, I'm sure, with the old saying, if you bought it, a truck brought it. The trucking industry is responsible for anything you own. If you bought it, a truck brought it. Yes, things are brought in by train. Yes, things are brought in by ship. Yes, things are brought in by planes. But once it's unloaded, it's put on a what to be delivered to retail outlets or your home. It's put on a truck. And unfortunately, because of COVID, there aren't enough truck drivers available to keep up with the deliveries of gasoline. The pandemic forced a lot of truck drivers to find other means of work, and as a result, we don't have enough truck drivers to fill that demand. But AAA says if you happen to pull up to a station and you see the bags on the pump, meaning we don't have any gasoline, more than likely they will get some in the very near future. Could be just a matter of hours. But if you encounter a station like that, don't worry about it. Just try the next station further on down the road. It is something that hopefully time will take care of as far as us replenishing, and yes, I do speak English, replenishing the ranks of truck drivers in this country. Unfortunately, after the 4th of July, those prices are not going to go down anytime soon. And of course, we have hurricane season coming into its prime, so there are ample opportunities for outside factors to come into play and push those prices even higher. So if you typically for the 4th of July hit the road going wherever, expect to pay more at the pump. Sadly, here we are paying the most per gallon in 7 years, and you know who we have to thank for this, right? Thanks, Democrats. Thanks, Joe Biden. Very first week in office, what do? You cancel the Keystone XL pipeline. You suspend searching for and drilling and issuing leases on federal lands. And after all the work done by then President Donald Trump to get us completely energy independent, we don't have to get oil, gas from any place else. All we need, we get ourselves, the rest we sell for a profit. Now, and the mainstream media is not going to tell you this, but I will. Now we are once again importing oil from Russia. So as we try to get the greatest economy on the planet up and rolling again, your contribution is to make us not only dependent on energy from places like Russia, but you're also helping Russia make a profit off of us. Well, why the hell not? You know, we're all about inclusion and diversity and helping everybody else. Let's help make Russia rich off of their oil and gas. You know what's ironic? We were told Donald Trump is a Russian puppet. He's Putin's puppet. Russian collusion. Remember that story? Funny how that works, huh? We were energy independent. Today, we're back importing oil from Russia. But Trump was the Russian agent. Huh. Funny how that works, huh? Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Democrats. And when we get to the end of the summer, take a look at gas prices then, and you can thank them as well. Speaking of folks getting on the highway this weekend, and in all likelihood, it will start today, because with the 4th falling on a Sunday, a lot of folks will have extended weekends. I told you earlier, we are expecting in excess of 43 million people hitting the highway. Guys, girls, particularly in a place like Baton Rouge, where there's pretty much only one way through the city. Pay attention while you're behind the wheel. Listen, I understand it's a holiday, you've been locked down, you want to get out, enjoy yourselves, experience some semblance of normalcy again. But please, y'all, pay attention behind the wheel. Nothing can ruin the 4th of July for the rest of your life than to have something really horrific happen behind the wheel, due in large part to the fact that you just weren't paying attention. There was, many years ago, a public service campaign, and the focus of the campaign was watch out for the other guy. Remember that? A lot of y'all watching right now are old enough to remember that. Watch out for the other guy. Sadly, since then, we have added more and more and more drivers and vehicles to the road, and more of them don't pay attention. Get off the freaking phone and drive, y'all. Real simple. Whatever it is, if it's that important, get off the highway and make that call. Whatever it is, if it's not that important, it'll wait. Call when you get there. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but I've got to imagine 4th of July is one of the deadliest holiday weekends in all of America. And it's not just enough to pay attention while behind the wheel of that 2,000 plus pound guided missile at 60, 70 miles an hour. Well, for most of y'all, I should say 70, 80 miles an hour. But just a little common courtesy, y'all. Just a little common courtesy. I understand Louisiana's official, unofficial pastime is tailgating and speeding. I get it. But simple things like using a signal light to let everybody else know I'm about to get over before you cause that 20-car pileup on the only freaking high-speed route through Baton Rouge, I-10. All that can be avoided. And at the end of the day, you will be out there going wherever it is you're going to enjoy the holiday. But there will be truckers out attempting to continue commerce. And in a place like Baton Rouge, where all it takes is one clown on their cell phone on the interstate causing a pileup, and now the whole freaking city is shut down. Nothing ruins the 4th of July for everybody else like sitting in stuck traffic for 5 hours so they can get vehicles in to clear it out. But on top of that, that simple act of negligence, not paying attention to what you're doing, stops all the trucks from moving. You know how many man hours of productivity we lose every single year sitting in traffic? You know how much commerce is disrupted because it takes another day for those goods to get there? And of course, the trucks got to use more diesel. Their costs go up. They pass it on to the customer, and their customer, the store, passes it on to us. Just simple stuff, y'all. Simple stuff. If you leave a little bit earlier, give yourself some extra time, then you don't have to worry about flying like a bat out of hell. My late band director, Dr. Isaac Greggs, was fond of the saying, if you're on time, you're late. Meaning, if it's important enough to be on time, it's important enough to be early. Leave early. Give yourself a little extra time. And hopefully, we can all come through this none the worse for wear. First break of today's show. Got some pretty important sports news I want to talk about when we come back. Continuing today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The first big sale of the year is here. The Dream Garage Spring Event is underway at Team Honda. For the first time ever, get $12.50 customer cash on every new 21 Passport, or get 0% for 60 months on every new 21 Pilot at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. Big news from the NC2A this week. Following what many had expected after seeing the signs before this all happened, the NC2A this week clearing the way for athletes, amateurs as they are, to profit off their names, image, and likenesses in affiliation with the schools that they play for. Let me say for the record, I think this is a horrible idea. We are about to open the top off of a box that we will never close again. It is popular, maybe comfortable, for many people to say, well, Clarence, you got to realize how much money these kids are making for these institutions. And yeah, it is a considerable amount of money. It's a good, in the vernacular of the streets, a good chunk of change. But at the end of the day, one, the number of young people that will benefit from this is minuscule. Two, I heard a guy read a post on a message board that says, it flies in the face of the fact that the name on the front means a whole lot more than the name on the back, meaning LSU Tigers on the front, Southern Jaguars on the front, and your name on the back. The name on the front means a whole lot more than the name on the back. And this opens the door for kids coming out of high school now to get an agent and start negotiating deals. If you think we had problems in college athletics before, just wait. Just wait. And I get, it's the whole age of wokeness and political correctness and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. This is not going to bode well for college athletics. Now, let me say this, for those of you that are saying, well, Clarence, what do you propose we do, because all this money that they're generating, they should get a share of it. Well, if you're sincere about that, go all the way to the logical conclusion. Go ahead and set up sports leagues that do nothing but prepare young athletes for the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, whatever, okay? Because let's be honest about this. We all grown. We're all adults. We family, in the words of the late Bernie Mac. We family. We can talk about things. At the end of the day, we have allowed this to get to a point where a sizable percentage of young people that set foot on a college campus, they have no desire, no interest, and quite frankly, have never given a thought to earning a degree. It is all about a stepping stone to the NFL, the NBA, or Major League Baseball. Now listen, for the record, again, in the vernacular of the streets, ain't nothing wrong with that. If that is the path you choose, then have at it. If God has blessed you with physical ability to reach that point, I ain't mad at you. But at what point do we start to say, well, wait a minute. You were getting a free college education, tuition, books, meals, the whole nine. At what point do we say, well, wait a minute. You are being afforded the opportunity to play in the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, wherever, on the backs of taxpayers. At what point should these people, young people, start paying their own way to college? At some point, the dollar tab is going to add up to where, wait a minute, you're getting a hell of a lot more out of this deal, and it's being done at taxpayer expense. I understand political correctness. I understand wokeness, the whole nine. But we're going to look back at this day, y'all, and in all likelihood, it's not going to be that long before we realize, whoa, I don't think this was a good idea. Just saying. Speaking of things that weren't good ideas, Gwen Berry. I don't know where to start with this young woman. I really don't. For those of you that don't catch the name, the hammer thrower, member of the United States Olympic team that showed so much disrespect for my country after making the Olympic team during the awarding of the medals, refusing to take part. Well, she, I guess you could say, took part, but, you know, standing there turning your back and putting a T-shirt over your head that says activist athlete rubbed so many people wrong. It's amazing. And hats off to my country for realizing this for exactly what it is. Problem is, for Gwen Berry, after coming out and saying, well, number one, I didn't want to be up there. Okay, let me get this straight. You didn't want to be up there for the awarding of the medals? Yeah, it was hot as all get out, and I was ready to go take my pictures and find some shade. I didn't really want to be there. Well, I thought the whole point of athletic competition was to win, and once you win, then we award you, we celebrate the winners. You know, that's why they have the podium of first place, second place, third place. So if you didn't want to be there to celebrate finishing third place, why do you want to be on the Olympic team? Unlike Major League Baseball, unlike the NFL, unlike the NBA, you're not engaging in athletic competition as a means of livelihood. You're not there to earn your paycheck. You're there to represent your country. Well, at least everybody other than Gwen Berry. Then we find out yesterday, after making all these ugly comments, talking about the inherent racism of America, yada, yada, blah, 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 apparently her people forgot that on her website from 2016, when she made the team for the Pan American Games, there's a picture of her standing with a big old smile, arms outstretched, holding an American flag behind her. And of course, once word got out, hey, have y'all seen her website? All of a sudden, website's gone. All of a sudden, website's gone. So let me get this straight. You didn't want to be there because the anthem has never represented you. So in 2016, when you post a picture on your website of you holding this big American flag, just grinning and grinning, talking about how it's a great success story because you were initially recruited to be a runner, and now what an honor it is to represent your country, not with your legs, but with your arms. Apparently, it wasn't a problem then. Let me tell y'all something, folks. If you don't think, if you don't believe, if you've not taken the time to realize that there's a whole lot of money to be made off of playing the race card, you need to wake up. There is more money, power, and influence to be made and had in the arena of fake racism than you would believe. Of course, now with the blowback that she's receiving now, wouldn't be too surprised if she changes her tune sometime in the near future. But the damage has been done. And let me show you the fallacy of how liberals/progressives think. Here's a woman that has chosen to pursue a career that has, just from the career itself, 0 life expectancy. How many of you can name the female hammer thrower from any Olympics ever held? And they made a good living from being on the female U.S. Olympic hammer throwing squad. So you've picked a career with 0 chance for growth and expansion, and then you turn around and piss off at least half of your fellow countrymen who would have cheered for you just because you represent our country. We would have been pulling for you just because you're representing our country. And you know what's ironic here? She is probably where she is because she was the beneficiary of the greatest country on the face of this earth, the greatest Olympic facilities anywhere, the greatest training anywhere. And after benefiting from this, by the way, getting taxpayers to fork over the tab for you to go all the freaking way to Tokyo and compete, and you're going to thumb your nose in our faces? Yeah, good luck with that, Gwen. Good luck with that. Tell you right now, U.S. Olympic Committee, USOC, on the nights she competes, get ready for your TV ratings to do that. Just saying. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. Up next, Gonna put you on your guard. Racism alert. When we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. We have instituted a new segment on this show, and it is in response to this ever-increasing, despicable, rash trend, tendency for people to use fake racism either for money or an agenda. Most thinking people know full well that in a nation of 350 plus million people, you are going to have individuals that have demented thoughts, retarded thoughts, when it comes to race. Just like we will always have the poor among us, we will always have the ignorant among us. That's just a fact of life. That's a part of the human experience. But the problem comes in with what I call the Aesop's fable syndrome. Remember the Aesop's fable, the boy who cried wolf? And I'll summarize it for you. If you lie enough times and get caught in it, when you tell the truth, people don't tend to believe you anymore. Why? Because you've lied so many times before. I mentioned to you in the last segment, if you don't think there is money to be made and power to be had by playing the race card, you are sadly mistaken. So this segment is in the interest of showing you, because those who pursue playing the fake racism card probably think you're not intelligent enough to see the various angles involved and decide for yourself whether something is racist or not. So as a result, we have instituted, and it is now time for today's segment, the Racism Alert. Kate, wake up in the truck. That's your cue, girl. That's your cue for the graphic. Racism Alert. Thank you kindly. We start this Racism Alert with a well-known former NBA All-Star, Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen came out this week and drew the ire of a whole lot of folk on social media, in athletic circles, and the like, because of his comments about his old coach, Phil Jackson. On the Dan Patrick Show, Scottie Pippen flat out called Phil Jackson a racist. Did he use the N-word in the locker room? No. Did he use some other racial slur in the locker room or on the court? No. So what exactly did Phil Jackson do? Well, Scottie Pippen was asked about a moment in the 1994 Eastern Conference semis where Phil Jackson drew up a play, closing seconds of the game is on the line. So Phil Jackson, and listen, for the record, I ain't no Phil Jackson fan. Never was a Chicago Bulls fan. Don't like him. Can't stand him, as a matter of fact. I'm an old school Showtime Laker boy. Well, back when I was concerned about the NBA. Them days are gone, y'all, just for the record. But they're in the closing seconds of the game. Phil Jackson instructed Scottie Pippen to pass the ball to Tony Kukoc, who happens to be white, okay? Quote, why would Tony, who was a rookie, get the last second shot and you put me out of bounds? That's what I mean, racial. So Dan Patrick, taken a bit aback, said, you do understand you're calling Phil Jackson a racist, right? Quote, I don't got a problem with that. Scottie Pippen. Oh yeah, he added, do you remember Phil Jackson left the Lakers, wrote a book on Kobe Bryant, then came back and coached him? Who would do that? You name someone in professional sports that would do that. I think he tried to expose Kobe in a way he shouldn't have. Let me understand this. 98% of the people in the stands knew that the play is going to go to Scottie Pippen. The opposing coaches and all 5 people on the floor were of the opinion the ball's probably going to go to Scottie, so we're going to set up a defense for that. Phil, being the good coach that he is, thought, okay, if everybody thinks the ball's going to Scottie Pippen, if we send the ball somewhere else, we increase our chances of the shot going in and winning the game. You know what that's called? That's not racist. That's called good freaking coaching. And by the way, the play worked and the Bulls won. But he's a racist because you said pass the ball to the rookie who happens to be white. So now Phil Jackson's a racist. Now, here's where, aside from that, if that was not enough to make you go, Scottie, bruh, really? That's your angle? That's the best you can do? If that weren't bad enough, after leaving Chicago, playing with the Rockets, year later, where does Scottie Pippen ask to be traded back to? Chicago. Now let me ask you something. How many people do you know, black or white for that matter, how many people do you know would land a job someplace, find out that their boss is a racist, you leave, find another job, and then request to come back and have gainful employment with that same person? How many black folk you know take a job and find out, my God, my boss is a racist, land another job somewhere else, but then turn around and go back to work for the racist? How many people do you know like that? Oh, but wait, that's right, I forgot to mention. November 21st of this year, guess who's got a book coming out? Ding, 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 we got a winner. Scottie freaking Pippen. Can you say, let me gin up people so I can sell more books and make more money? If you don't think there's money to be made playing the fake racism card, you are one of those that defies anatomical science. Well, what you mean, Clarence? It's supposed to be physically impossible for you to stick your head that far up your you-know-what. It is supposed to be physically impossible. If you don't think there is money to be made playing the fake racism card, Gwen Berry, just ask Scottie. Matter of fact, ask Al. Ask Jesse. If you don't think there's power and money and influence to be had, think again, my friends. And all I ask y'all is that you look at these things for what they are. Because when we allow people to play us this way, it takes away from the impact and the righteous indignation that we would have for legitimate instances of racism. At some point, and COVID will teach you this, at some point, you get plumb tuckered out over that. And you just start to dismiss stuff. Especially if you have enough functioning brain cells to look at things and go, wait a minute, that's a crock. It's kind of like Lori Lightfoot this week, coming out in the press conference when asked about all the attention that Chicago is getting over their ungodly crime problem. Lori Lightfoot says, well, those people are racist and sexist. People of color, and women in particular, it's been like that forever. We know that comes with the territory. That's how this country is. So 77 freaking people are shot in 3 days. Just the weekend in Chicago. 77 last weekend, just the weekend. 52 the weekend before, just the weekend. 47 the weekend before that, just on the weekend. But because we are critical of your so-called leadership, it's because we're racist or sexist? Yeah, you buy that. I got a mountaintop beachfront chalet in Bunkie that I'll let you have real cheap. Just saying. Final break of today's show. Come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
The selection is deep, and the time to get a used car is right now from the Team Automotive Group. Shop and save on over 125 certified vehicles and choose from more than 700 pre-owned vehicles at any of our team locations. Or log on anytime at teamautouse.com.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I watched with a reasonable amount of interest a number of bills that worked their way through the recently completed Louisiana legislative session. And some of them, as is typically the case with our legislature, I was left just scratching my head saying, okay, aren't there like really bigger fish to fry, particularly since, you know, taxpayers are footing the bill for this. One of those that was recently signed into law, I'm still trying to determine exactly where I stand on this one. You've seen, with increasing frequency, people posting on social media videos of individuals engaged in criminal activity. It was spurred, this bill, by that horrible incident at the Walmart in Lake Charles, where this 13-year-old girl, brandishing a knife before walking into the Walmart and killing another young lady, and then posting it on social media and bragging about it. It's not the only instance, sadly, we've seen of people involved in horrific crimes, deadly crimes, and then being stupid enough to post it on social media. But the legislature, after passing this bill and Governor John Bel Edwards signing it into law, it will soon become a felony in Louisiana for you to post on social media, criminal activity that results in bodily injury or death, if you post it for, quote, notoriety or publicity. Thanks to this new law, if you are found guilty, you can face a fine of up to $500 and 6 months in jail, with a maximum fine of $2,000 and up to 8 years in prison. Now, after reading this and looking at it, I had to ask myself, did anything criminal occur? Was this done with a criminal act in mind? Personally, I would prefer individuals that take the time to pull out the cell phone, unlock it, turn on the camera, and start shooting. I would prefer, in an ideal world, that you do something to help stop that criminal activity as it's happening. But I understand that our world is not ideal. But I found this interesting. The author of this bill, in talking about the change in what will happen now if you are convicted of this, Representative Tony Romero introduced the bill back in April. And now that it's been passed into law, said the following, quote, "We don't intend that people would go to jail for this," adding that he's not opposed to recording video or the First Amendment right to do so, but he hopes it will serve as a deterrent for people that might be tempted to seek attention on social media by posting criminal activity, especially when it involves people getting hurt or killed. Quote, "We don't intend that people would go to jail for this. And yet you spent time, energy, and effort crafting a bill that will result in just that. And at the end of the day, could you not make the argument that with what was going on, I wasn't able as an individual to stop it. There were 3 assailants. All of them were armed. I wouldn't dare wade into that to try and stop it. But what I can do is record it and give people a heads up on what's happening. Even if their sole objective was, wow, when I post this, you know how many views I could get? You know how many likes I could get? Even if that were the ultimate goal, when did that become illegal? Well, it became illegal when John Bel Edwards put his John Hancock on it. At the end of the day, I still believe that it is buried somewhere deep within the bowels of the Constitution in very, very fine print. It's America. You got a right to be a moron. I guess if I were to look back in retrospect, we have made so many other things now that are nothing more than moronic into felonies. Why not this? Why not? I mean, we've all heard the old saying, you can't fix stupid, but you can give it a court date. We're going to keep an eye on this and see where this goes, because I can see someone facing a felony over this, not involved in any way, shape, or form with the actual crime. They just happen to be a witness and put it on social media. And now, because somebody felt they were doing it for attention or publicity, now they're facing a felony. Interesting. This weekend, it is my sincere hope that you will take some time in whatever your endeavor is for the 4th of July holiday weekend, that you'll take the time, block out the narrative, block out the agenda, block out the naysayers, and while enjoying yourselves, take the time to give thanks for God blessing you to be a part of the greatest country, arguably, in the history of the human species. The freedoms, the liberties that, at least for now, we continue to enjoy are the envy of the entire free world. And am I saying that America's perfect? I think you know me better than that by now. But at the end of the day, you know, it should tell you something. With the liberals / Democrats / progressives pushing the narrative that America is the most racist place it's ever been, most racist place on the planet, and always will be. Why do you think it is all these brown-skinned people are taking their lives in their hands through shark-infested waters and deserts to try and get here? Kind of goes against conventional wisdom. If you're brown-skinned, why would you take a chance dying to get into a country that is inherently and systemically racist against brown people? Maybe they know something that the people here don't know. Just saying. Time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, maybe more so than any other, I give it to you. America, you're right, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Bill Perfita's next. Happy Independence Day.